test for a second. For some reason the stream stopped. The first test. Hey, I think it should be good now. So welcome everyone, good afternoon wherever you are in the world for another round of the SRL GT3 Championship here at the Nürburgring, a very wet Nürburgring at the moment. I'm not sure if the weather's going to continue in sort of qualifying as Senna goes for a spin in the Beamer. But yeah, this is going to be a very interesting one. Round 3, you can see here at the Nürburgring. This is Jensen on comms once again, and hopefully for the remaining 3 rounds afterwards as well. And yeah, I don't know if we're going to get some like real pace to compare with. I don't know if it's going to be dry or wet into qualifying, but this is sure, we're sure would be entertaining if we kept this weather. And see who we got in the session as Nick is just pointing away, looks like. I don't know what's happened to him there. I've just gone back to the pits. You're just looking around, everyone on track at the moment. There is Max. He is back after missing Bathurst, the round 1 winner. Looking to try and set his eyes back on that title fight, as his teammate Jerome is starting to ace away at the moment after winning at Bathurst and taking 15 points for that one. So we've got 2 minutes left of practice. I think drivers can still join during qualifying, so hopefully we find a few more people joining us. So obviously we've got Max Mulder, Sam Brandt, Matthias Turk, Holly Collins, Nick Van Gelder, Tim Benting, Sandro Dulis, and Senna. Can't pronounce Senna's last name still after so many years of racing with him. Giancarlo Souza making his debut appearance in the league. But yeah, only 1 minute left of practice to go. Just seeing who is not attending today. So we will not see Dion Stahl after a pretty decent start to the season, 5th and 3rd. I think he's currently 3rd or 2nd in the championship at the moment, but yeah, he'll be dropping down. Big race for Max to catch up to his rival Jerome Adamaku, who is missing this race today. He ended up winning Bathurst last week. So this will be the chance for Max to bring the gap down to at least 1 point if he can maximise it once again for a 2nd win. Or can it be Matthias Turk after having a very unlucky first 2 rounds, being tapped by his teammate Tim in both occasions? He's still looking to finally get on the podium, finally get the win after taking both pole positions so far. But we have 20 seconds until qualifying gets a go. But continue with who's not attending today. We've got Dion Stahl not attending, same with Jerome Adamaco, Jan van Meel, Yannick Verpeten, Vincenzo Torre, Paul Boone, Jamie Egerstrom, and David Rod are non-attendees. But we've got 10 drivers in at the moment. We should expect 12, I believe. Well, while we wait to go into qualifying, and the start of qualifying, I'm just going to get myself some fluids, and that for the next hour or so. But yeah, we've got 10 drivers at the moment, a 15-minute qualifying session, and it's a 15-minute qualifying session in the rain. This will be interesting. It's gonna really test the best of their ability in the wet. Who's going to be the quickest in the wet for once? 2 dry qualifying sessions, 2 dry races. It's the first wet official session of the season. Who will be the one that shines through? As is Matthias Turk straight out on track. 2 poles to his name. Is he going to make a third one, even in the treacherous conditions? But yeah, I will be returning in just a couple of minutes. So hello, we are back. We are back, indeed. So we're going to be on board with Matthias Turk. Leaves on a flying lap. Although the Delta does not say that for some reason. We'll see how he gets on. Visibility not great. Unless obviously no one is in your way, which is the case with Matthias at the moment. Look how much spray is being kicked up. As they go through the fast chicanes, probably the trickiest in these conditions. He loses the back end a little bit. Went a little bit deep. Struggled to see the apex, of course. For that final corner, but he comes out the final corner. See what time Matthias puts in. 2:08. And that is the first benchmark set in this qualifying session. But for Max Mulder, I think he's just started a lap actually. Sam Brand, he's just went quicker, 2:08.2. Just trying to look. On some better cameras now. Oh, and Sandro loses the back end! Through the fastest corner of the track, and he hits the wall, and that'll be straight back into the pits for the Ferrari driver. That was a very, very big moment. We only just about caught there. And he carries on, and he's got very much big amount of look at his steering angle there, yes. Very big amount of damage on that Ferrari. Not easy to keep on track at the moment, so on board with Max Mulder. Let's see what he does in his Mustang. This is what you'll be seeing at the moment. Just take the racing line. That is the way of going around it. Look how much he squirms around there. At the same time, kept him very, very locked in. It's coming around the final corner, Max Mulder. See, the Delta is not telling the true story at the moment, but he crosses the line at 2:62. Full 2 seconds quicker than what Sam Brand did. See what Matthias Kite did. He had a 2:66, so it's a 4/10 gap at the moment. Currently in favour of Max Mulder, as he's looking for his first pole of the season. Let's go on board with Tim. He's currently sat P3, is 1.5 off on his time at the moment. Comes through the final corner, looking to keep P3 but a bit closer to his rivals as he crosses the line at 6.6 as well. Just have to take behind the tyres tag. Cycling through drivers is very weird of him, but on the board Harley Collins in the number 46 Audi in the Rossi colours, Team WRT. Oh, and he touched the grass on entry, and that's completely gone for him, and that's the lap completely gone. He's going to stop to let Giancarlo Souza through in the V12 Aston Martin. This is very cool to see this one out. Comes across the line. I think he's only just started a flying lap as Italian. I believe Italian. No, Venezuelan. With many nationalities racing SRL, but Venezuelan. That's a a new one, I think. Welcome to the grid, Giancarlo Sousa. And what a choice of car. He goes through tricky left-right on his lap at the moment. We'll see if anyone's close to the end of that. I think Tim Benting is coming towards the end of his lap, and he's coming into the pits. And whether he's going to make some changes to setup or anything else, we do not know, but there he goes, trundling down the pit lane. Matthias Tech has got a 5.8 at the moment. He is 3 tenths up on his time. Max Mulder, he's got a 5.6, but he's down on his time, so he's not going to make an improvement this lap round. So if Matthias Tech can hold on to this will be whole time, but it seems to have gone down on his delta again. I don't know what's going on with the delta sometimes. It's being a bit weird. We'll keep watching Matthias at the moment. As Matthias goes into the pits, Giancarlo Sousa 2:12.6. I think that might have been an invalid time though, as Matthias has returned to the pits. He's going to have one attempt left in the tank. Just see where Max Mulder is. So 2:08 last time. Let's see what flying lap can do here. He cuts back very tightly through the left-hander as he goes into this very tight left-hander, rides the curb all the way through. Cuts a lot of that right-hand curb, and he's already 3 tenths up in sector 1. As the weather started to improve a little bit. I think it has just a little bit. It looks like it's absolutely lashing down, which, well, obviously it is, but it definitely seems to be improving just a little bit. If not, I think it's drivers just getting adjusted or tuned to the weather. What'll make this interesting is if it ends up being dry for the race. There goes Max, through the Schumacher S. Sitting quite comfortably in his car at the moment. He's 7 tenths up. Coming up to the chicane here, absolutely on the limit. Oh, look how much he loses the rear end there. He doesn't lose too much time though, so it's not a massive run to the final corner. It's nice we get to see this version of the chicane go through. It's going to be a 2:04, 2:49 for Max Mulder. That's the benchmark for everyone else. He's got one more lap to go. He's going to carry on pressing his Mustang on for another lap. To see as Matthias back out as Giancarlo Sousa has made a spin at turn 1, and that will be his qualifying over. I don't think he won't have time to get around to start another lap, so he's currently P6 and that's where he will be staying for the time being. Tim Benting 8 tenths up as he goes through the loop right at the bottom of the circuit. And as Matthias Tech just started his final attempt there, as see anyone that is close to finishing a lap. Jeremy Pope's just about to finish a lap, I think, or start a lap. I think he's only just got in. No, he's... I don't know. No, he's alright. He's okay. So I think Jeremy Pope's just started his one and only lap as he's only just arrived. You have Scott Sandover. I need to get it right, but he is currently sat in the pits as he's serving a qualifying ban for this race due to an incident at the previous round. And Nick Van Gelder, 2 minute 9.3, and that's his qualifying. He's calling that his qualifying over. We'll see who's improving, but Tim Venting, he's gone to the top. Tim Venting, a 2 minute 4.4. Where's Max Mulder? He's 9/10 up. He's looking to set a 2 minute 3 here at the Nürburgring. Here comes Max Mulder. Crossing the line, it's a 2 minute 4.0. That's still very good. And Max Mulder currently sat in pole position for the time being. Sandra Dulis, he crosses the line at 2.53. He goes third fastest in his Ferrari. A great effort from the Greek driver. Carlo in the pits. That's what Jeremy Pope can do as well. As we have a few coming into the pits at the moment, we're going to actually see where Matthias Turk is. He is 10th up on his time. Is that all it's going to be? Unfortunately so. And the man who took pole position in the first 2 races is not going to have pole position here at the Nürburgring. He's going to be sat P4. And he's probably be a bit disappointed with that one. As, let's see, the number 77 of Jeremy Pope, oh, he's made a mistake. I think he's just caught it there through the chicane. We'll see number 28, Senna, he's gone P6. But there you go, that's the qualifying done. And very unpredictable, that's for sure. It's fairly close between the top 4, particularly Max Mulder and Tim Venting at the top, but Sandro Dulis put in his Ferrari where he probably didn't expect it. Sam Brandt P5, Senna P6, Van Gelder P7, Carlos Souza P8, Robin Hurstang P9, Harley Collins P10, Jeremy Pope P11, and Scott Sandover in P12. And last, so the Lexuses repping at the back of the grid, followed by the 2 Audis. And then it's all a mix going through the top 8. So Max Mulder, reigning champion on pole for the first time this season. We'll be back in just 2 minutes. Right, so we are back. Just figuring out the camera settings there, but I get a view from behind Max on the formation lap here. Max will be pushing it a little bit on the out lap to get a feel for it. Oh, what's happening here? Mid pack. Senna almost very much caught out. So who do you think will win the race? Watching, put your predictions in the chat. Because to be honest, in this weather, I don't know who will. See a lot of people going quick in qualifying, but making quite a few mistakes. But you also see Max Mulder, Tim Benting, they haven't really made many big mistakes during the qualifying. So the wet weather might really set everyone apart here as Tyres Turk in the pits. Whether he's making big setup, he might be making a lot of setup adjustments on that McLaren. And he's opting to start from the pits. But he will be starting a fair bit from the pack. A good 30-second loss off the start. With the lead Mustang car. Can't really say that today. There's only one Mustang on the track today. 3 McLarens, 1 Ferrari, 1 Lamborghini, 1 BMW, 3 Audis, I believe. Well, it might just be 2 Audis. 2 Lexuses. But we're coming up to the final chicane. And we're an hour and 20 seconds away from coming the end of the race. Let's see what is going to happen here. They're all going to be going about the same time when they are on the line. But here they come around the final corner. Max Mulder, Tim Benting alongside one another. Only 4 tenths between each other in qualifying. And just get a better camera angle. Here we go. And there's a green light in the race, and the hour of the Nürburgring is underway, and Tim Benting gets to start as he jumps straight into the lead. He gets to launch off Max Mulder, but Max Mulder back up the inside, down into turn 1. He gets the inside line. There's nothing Tim could do about it. He does keep the outside though. And no, never mind. Tim Benting keeps the lead. Gets very good momentum out the outside of turn 1 and keeps that going into the triple left-hander. I might say double left-hander actually, as they go through the right-hander to finish sector 1, and most of them kind of keeping their positions here. But the big swap, Tim Benting and Max Mulder. That's an interesting one as Tim goes wide again. Tim just has to try and hold on to this position at the moment. But Max Mulder is right up the back end of Tim Benting as they go through the loop at the bottom of the circuit. It's not the start for Max. He's trying his earnest to get it back. They go through the S, big snaps of oversteer from both cars. And Tyres Turk, he's also got going. He's right at the back of the pack. He's probably made some good setup changes for himself, or he's a bit late to be ready. There comes Max, so he's getting the run on Tim. Tim goes to the inside. Defends the inside line, going up into the fast chicane. It's not as easy as the tighter version of the chicane, but is he leaving the inside open for the final corner? He does. Max Mulder does the switcheroo through the chicane. Tim holds the outside though as they go side by side around the final corner, and to end the first lap of the race, and it is literally nothing in it as they go side by side once again. It's going to be a repeat of lap 1. Max Mulder on the inside, Tim on the outside, but Tim is trying to hold around the outside and he's doing it once again. He's just getting much better traction on these outside lines, as you do in the wet though. Great stuff from McLaren, man. He's holding his own very much against Max at the moment. And they are leaving the rest of the pack kind of by themselves at the moment. Sam and Sandro, they've got a 3-second gap to P5 in their own little battle at the moment, as Tim goes very wide through that corner again. I think he's either intentionally taking the wide lines. Seems to be much more grip on these wide lines. Let's look at. We've definitely found that out very early on, or Max has, from Tim there, I think. Because Max wasn't taking those lines on the first lap, he was going onto the normal racing line, and Tim was just gaining absolutely crazy traction over Max. But here we go, once again, Max going outside of Tim, and he's going to make it move. So there we go, Max Mulder. Brilliant move around the outside of the left-hander there, just after the Schumacher S, and the Mustang driver, the reigning GT3 champion, is back into the lead. After starting from pole, he lost it on the first lap. He is back into the lead after just 2 laps. Great effort from him as they knock a cone around. They go through chain. I don't know what's happening right at the back there. Matthias Turk has had a moment. He's now right behind these guys again. There's been something must have happened because they've all really split apart. As Hardy Collins is letting them all go at the moment. I think we just get back on the leaders at the moment because this is not ended at all. As Tim Benting is looking all over the back of that Mustang again, he's going to get the switch back, and Tim Benting is finding the grip now to come back at Max Mulder. He's looking for the outside. Is this going to work? Is this like Alonso Massa in 2007 in F1? And it's not going to work out for Tim that time. And he is going to have to settle for second at the current time. Definitely going to be some sort of change in lead very shortly once again. Definitely see that happening. Just be a case of how these guys hold on to their tyres at the moment. Sandro is keeping the gap fairly right, hasn't lost too much over the last lap. He is 4.1 off the lead at the moment. He was 3.5 by the end of last lap. So he's limiting the time loss, so he's keeping himself right there. He's pulled a little bit away from Samuel Brandt, about a 2-second gap. Apologies for that, guys. There we go. We're back. We're back. Right. Hopefully Max and Tim will keep their fight going on for the rest of the race to try and keep me awake anyways. A little bit tired at the moment. But yeah, these two currently driving away from the rest quite comfortably. They were good. 9/10 up is Max Mulder this lap. I think he's starting to stretch his legs a little bit. He's trying to find his rhythm. Indeed, doing that over Tim at the moment. He's second up on his best lap time. He's 7 tenths up on Tim at the moment, or 7 tenths ahead. This is all going very well. The striking white and pink Mustang. But Tim gains it all the way back for the Schumacher S's. Maybe these high-speed corners is where the McLaren is really gaining in the wet weather conditions. So, 4 tenths is the gap at the moment as they go up to the chicane once again. And we'll just have a look down the field. Senna currently comfortably P5. Carlos Souza at the back of this little fight for P6. Sat very close. Nick Van Gelder also there. They seem close from the lap really. I think we head back to the front though, because here comes Tim Benting once again. Order goes very tight early on the line. Look how close Tim is. He's getting almost bumper to bumper. Cuts the curb, he doesn't get the exit, so Tim will have to wait another few sections of the track to get his attempt once again. And we've only got 9 drivers remaining in this race. We've already lost 3 drivers in this race. Just trying to find out who we have ended up losing. I think we lost Jeremy Pope, that is definitely one. What's happened to Senna Hardwire as well? He was running comfortably P5 and he's either left the session or disconnected from the race. We've only we've gone down to 9 drivers now. Jeremy Pope, Senna Hardwire and someone else. Head back to the leaders at the moment. Let's go for a bit of helmet cam with Max. Get a rear view mirror as well as Tim all over the back here. This will be the view for Max currently. He's ripping at that steering wheel with Mustang. Experiment with the cameras at the moment. And Senna Hardwire's back. He currently P10, but obviously whatever happened, that disconnect might have cost him very much dearly. Let's go on board with Tim Benting. In the plan, right on the back of Max Corda. Very difficult to see through this straight. Turk is in the pits. But that is the first official pit stop of the race. 15 minutes in. So far nothing major. Oh, and Tim Benting got a big squirm under braking. But he keeps it under control just about. And on the exit the loop he is right on the back of Max Mulder and through the Schumacher S as well. The McLaren's been tons better. And the Mustang is going to get a run here on the Mustang of Max Mulder. He's looking for the outside. He tries to look for the inside though. But Max Mulder is keeping to that line. He is not going to yield to Tim Benting, is Max Mulder. As they both go on to straight up to the chicane. Who is going to be last to race? Who's going to be first out the corner? It's not going to be a change of lead this time round. Max Mulder just about holds on once again. Big send from Tin! Big send from Tin on the inside. Does he make it work? He's going to have the outside line on the exit turn 1, inside for turn 2. What a lunge! Oh, they make a little bit of contact as well. Do Tim and Max Mulder, what has happened there? I think Max just turned in a bit too practically. There we go. But Tim Benting has just made a massive lunge into turn 1, and it's a brilliant lunge for the lead of the race. Man is currently sat second in the championship. Is at the moment he's on course to be taking the championship lead if he carries on this way. And look at that, he's already got a second. I think Tim is really started to find a groove in this wet conditions. Max Mulder in the Mustang is starting to struggle a lot, it does seem. But maybe the change of lead, it reverses the roles again. Max might just find that groove again. And he might be the one attacking Tim, making a similar sort of move. If we get that, that'd be brilliant. But we'll only wait to find out at this point. But no, Max is keeping fairly close. 0.6 of a second. He's caught back 4 attempts as Tim attacks those curbs. So yeah, given that Jeremy Pope is out of the race, given that Max Mulder has only done the 1 race, Tim Benting, if he keeps it in P2 at least, that'll be the championship lead in his hands. But obviously you want to win the race. I don't think he has won in the GT3 seasons. Just to confirm that, because I don't think he has raced in a previous GT3 season. This will be his first one though. He raced in season 4. Last one back on the Project Cars series. He raced, but he never stood on the podium that time around. So maybe this could be a first win for the 2019 F1 World Champion. Many accolades to his name, but to win the GT3 series as well would be a big one. as they're coming up to a back marker of Robin Hergenstagen. Got a little onboard reverse camera from Tim. That's how close Max is running to at the moment. Look how much he's attacking it. The McLaren does not really like the curves. Very stiff suspension in that car. But Tim's making it work. And the gap remains 0.7 of a second as they cross the line once again. And we are almost actually a third of the way through the race. As Robin makes a big mistake there, he almost takes Max Mulder with him as he lets the 2 leaders through. I think he slotted in and just got the braking a little bit off, but he just managed to save himself from tapping the back of the Mustang car. But this is our only on-track. That was 93 car seems to be glitching out a little bit, so it's teleporting to the pits and then back for some reason of Nick Van Gelder. But he's still running P6, so no problems for him there. But yeah, the 2 leaders, almost nothing separating them at the moment. Robin running by himself at the moment, lap down. Sandro running by himself, good 10 seconds in front of Sam Brand and 17 seconds behind the 2 leaders. And the same case would be for Sam Brand. I think it's about 20 seconds in front of Scott Sandever. Nick Van Gelder not too far behind Scott. And then the number 15 of Giancarlo Souza, 10 seconds behind Nick. And it would be 20 seconds in the 2 gaps behind to Senna and Matthias Turk. So at the moment, I think is worth watching anything else on track other than this, and it's the only ongoing battle. It's been going on since lap 1. Always love to see that. Saw that at Bathurst, not Bathurst, Kyle Army, sorry. Between Max, Jerome and Tim Benting. Until, of course, the final stint where Tim and Jerome just pitted a bit too early, got the stops wrong, they ended up dropping off a bit too much, and then Max just found his groove and managed to ace the final stint and win the race. Sandra Doulis has just gone past Robin Hergenstagen as well. And now the gap's gone up to 1.2 seconds. It's interesting. There's a yellow flag for Giancarlo Souza as the 2 leaders are coming through. Let's see what's happened to Aston Martin. Is stopped on track. What is happening to Venezuelan? And he seems to have a problem of some sort. And his engine's shut off completely. He's got absolutely nothing. I don't know if he's lost his ignition or he's ran out of fuel, as drivers have to try and avoid him. This is not good for Giancarlo Souza. He might be out of this race if he can't find his way back up to running again, but we just don't know at the moment, as just trying to figure out what to do at the moment. How can he get himself going again? And he is back into the pits. I don't think he was able to find a way to get running again, and he's going to have to restart that way. I think he might have ran out of fuel. He might have under-fueled very much for that first in the race, and he did not pay attention to it, possibly. But that is really cost him. He was running P6, no, P7, P8. And now he's currently out of the points. So that is unfortunate for him. And we'll go back to the leaders. Tim Benting has started to stretch his legs a bit. 1.5 seconds ahead of Max Mulder. Tim Benting starting to get on with it as he presses on, as he set the fastest lap on the previous lap of the race with a 2.5.2. Tim Benting, yeah, he really looks under control here. He is pulling away from Max at a sizable rate this time around. Max is trying his best, but it's not currently looking good for him unless he can make some spurt of pace. And there's another yellow flag, and I think that's Nick Van Gelder in the first section of the circuit. As he gets back going again, I think he might have a little spin in his McLaren. It's got the nicest looking livery though, as he comes to a stop on the side of the track. There's Nick Van Gelder. And what is happening for him? I don't know what happened to Nick Van Gelder unless he knocked his controls off from the spin. I don't really know, but it's 1.8 seconds to about 2 seconds now, 2.2. We'll call that 2.2 seconds between Tim and Max. Max currently setting 2.06s. Tim Benting 2.05.1 last lap, another fastest lap for the McLaren man, and he's certainly getting on with it now. He's improving once again this time around, and Max was unable to provide a response. It was about 9/10 of a second. Max Mulder lost in the previous lap as number 58 car. I think Scott Sander was just lapping Robin into turn 1. Keep an eye for any, but this is it at the moment. Try and have a look. So Sam Brad 13 seconds behind Sandy Lewis, 26 seconds off the lead. And Giancarlo Souza is now down into P10. He's now last. He's lost the laps that Senna even lost. He's a 7-minute lap for. That's about 3 laps lost. It's been a great race for Scott Sander as well. He's currently running P5 in the Lexus. He's only 20 seconds off P4 at the moment. And going for a polyban into quite good field. He's kept it good. 2-minute 9s at the moment is what he's saying. And we go on board with Tim Benting again. So 3.2 seconds for Tim Benting. A 2-minute 4.7 new fast lap of the race. Matthias Turk is also setting new personal best. He is the second fastest on track. And you're going to try and use that pace to catch up to Nick Van Gelder, who is currently 4 seconds a lap off the pace. Oh, there's a spin for Senna Herdwire there. He's in the middle of the circuit. That's sneak a lot of time as the Dutchman tries to get out of the way, and he rejoins the track in the Ironman livery BMW. One of the coolest looking cars on track at the moment, that Beamer, as he makes his way back along up to the final chicane and to complete another lap, get that going with his race. And on this lap, Tim Venting is actually lost out much time. Max Mulder is flying this lap. He's coming right back at the leader as there goes Senna into the pits, probably taking a pit stop. Fuel and tyres. Tim Venting, 2:04.9 for the race leader, Max Mulder, coming into the pits. Was he saving the pace? Was he faking the lack of pace, maybe psychologically, for Tim Venting, or he started to find his mojo in the wet conditions? But he is making his one and only stop of the race, and Sandro Doulis is going to go into second place in the Ferrari. He's 26 seconds off the lead.
Keep it up.
Just going to see at the moment. Tim Venting, though, he doesn't seem phased at the moment. He's still lapping in the 204s. And try and find Matthias Turk. He's just made a move on not Tim Venting, Nick Van Gelder. The McLaren on the McLaren through the Schumacher S's as well. Wish we caught that. Try and use the replay. Well, that's not very good, is it? A replay has not done us very well there. So Nick Van Gelder, he was the one commentating Bathurst last week. He tried doing a replay, and I don't know how he did it. But he got a very good replay of a little incident on the downhill section of Bathurst. So Robin Hergsagen is in the pits, making his one pit stop of the race. But Matthias Turkey is on his way. He's 40 seconds off Scott Sandever though, so I don't think we'll end up catching him. There's some really good blasts of pace, but we're halfway through this race. About 14 laps to go, I would say. And Max Mulder on his outlap is over the back of third place Sam Brandt. Sam Brandt is going to fight it. I don't think he is. He's going to pull back and let the Mustang go through. It's not worth it. He's still got a stop to make. As he does make it now, does Samuel Brandt. He comes into the pits in the Lamborghini, running a net P4 at the moment. He's running very nicely. Is the Dane. Just gonna find out how Tim is getting on. He is 3 tenths up on his time as he goes through the circuit loop. And yeah, Tim Venting is flying on very nicely this lap. So it's set another personal best unless he does dive into the pits. Wonder if Sandro even pits at all. Maybe Ferrari might stick on a set of dry tyres. That should be typical of them. But There's Tim. I think he's about to set another new fastest lap of the race this time around. He looks very much in control of that McLaren. That's a 4.4 for Tim Benting. He seems absolutely unfazed at the moment out there, as Matthias Steg is currently running P5. But that will probably span from Sam Brand taking his pit stop. Scott Sandever is currently running P4. He's 38 seconds up the road. Is it too much? Or will it be enough for Matthias to get him by the end of the race? Who will know? You'll see what Max Mulder sets at 4.7, so he's setting the right pace, but he needs to be consistent with it. It's a 50-second gap to Tim Benting at the moment for Max Mulder. For the undercut work, or obviously putting in for less fuel. For Tim, might end up cutting his pit stop in half. If those tyres are still good, and it's just splash and dash. Try and catch one of the battles on track at the moment. Nick Van Gelder and Sam Brand running 6th and 7th. I think Sam might have just passed him. Not quite sure, but Lamborghini is currently sat in front of McLaren. Though Nick, I don't think he has made a stop yet, so should have to hold on to that one so far. Tim Benting carries on. He will not pit this lap. We won't pit this lap, obviously. Oh, I said that twice. But here comes Max. Let's see what times he's going to put in relative. Let's see what time Tim put in last lap at 2:04.8. It's currently up, going through the first half of the lap. Mulder at 5.2, he's currently quarter of a second off the pace. So, yes, Tim's still comfortable out front, I would say. Sandro is going long in his Ferrari. So yeah, you see drivers yet to make their stops. Tim, Sandro, Scott Sandever and Nick Van Gelder. And Giancarlo Souza, who just comes into the pits now actually, to take his one and only stop of the race. We get that out of the way. Let's see where Senna is in relative. He is currently a lap down on Robin. Senna needs to find a massive gain in like the next 10 laps to try and put that on Robin, but I don't think he will be able to, as Tim makes the pass on Nick Van Gelder. By making a pass, it is lapping and speeding the pit lane for Giancarlo Souza, so it's not gone well for the Venezuelan. He is come out of the pits, but you'll have to come in again for a stop and go. And that is, yeah, that is just ice in the wound, salt in the wound. Getting these analogies very wrong. I'm correcting myself almost every single time. It's, yeah, very annoying. But anyways, Robin's just set his personal best, 2:17.9. So we go to Senna. He's 2:08 last lap. So a 9-second gain. And he currently, if you add it up, it's about 150 seconds behind Robin with 20 minutes left. It unfortunately won't be enough for Senna, I do not think. P9 will be it unless any penalties crop up. So Matthias Turk, he's currently on for P4. Potentially, actually, P3 if Sandro does not get this pit stop right or he loses too much time. But at the moment, Tim Benting, 2:04.6. He's maintaining that greater pace. At the moment, he's yet to make a stop still. We've got 20 minutes left of this race. We're 2/3 of the way through here at the Nürburgring. And it's another stop and go penalty for Giancarlo Sousa, and that's coming into the pits. No, actually no. I think it's just a reminder to him. I don't think it's another one, because he hasn't come into the pits again. And he's just spun at turn 1, unfortunately. But he keeps the car going, just about. It's been a very treacherous race indeed for mostly everyone. I think everyone's had a moment of some sort. So Matthias Turk currently lapping the quickest on track. He's the fastest man on track. As Nick Van Gelder is in for his pit stop. I think he will only, well, he won't even drop any places, I don't think. He will maintain P7. He is picking up the final corner. Is he going to look taking a lap on Nick Van Gelder? I think he is. It's probably a 4.6 for Matthias. And it's another 4.6 last lap for Tim Benting, and this lap he might be setting a new fastest lap of the race once again. No, he doesn't. He matches, pretty much almost matches his best lap of 4:17 instead of 4:07 though. But still, this is very impressive by the McLaren man. And he remembers that he still needs to make one more stop. Sandro Duis only 43 seconds off the lead. He hasn't done too bad, given the level pace these guys at the front are putting in. Setting 2:06s. That's just the name of the game, consistency. Might be doing it for him, but at the moment he is barely safe from the tyres tech. And Max Waldo is creeping up on Sandro Duis. He has actually gained a lot of time. It's Max Waldo's Carlos Sousa in pits, set up his stop-go penalty. Yeah, Max really is on it at the moment. He has gained a few seconds on Tim. time Tim comes out, Max might already be all the way up to temperature and he might have a big advantage over the McLaren man. Gonna wait and see. 16 minutes left of this race. Tim Benting, will he make a pit stop? And there's a stop and go cleared for number 15, Giancarlo Souza, as Tim Benting, I think, is he in the pits? No, he carries on, but he says 2 minute 3.7. Does Tim Benting, a new fast lap of the race by an absolute margin. The gap's gone up to 50 seconds. I think being so far back, the gaps aren't entirely realistic. So it went from 49 seconds to 58, 59, 60. It's climbing up out of absolutely nowhere. There's a yellow flag for number 3 car of Sam Brandt. What's happened to him? And he's recovered the car. He's still in 6th, but that might have cost him in his fight with Nick Van Gelder, possibly. It says Nick is only 13 seconds in front of him, but a lap down, so maybe it'll be alright. Max Border was setting his personal bests. Look for Tim Benting. He's just made a move on Van Gelder. Tim's putting in some pace. 14 minutes left of this race. Are we going to see a pit stop yet by the McLaren? He is creeping up on a lot of cars at the moment. He carries on once more as Scott Sandever takes to the pits to make his one stop. He was running P4, but now he's going to drop to P5, maybe even P6. And we're just going to see, is that a mistake from Sam Brandt? Is that going to cost him in the end? Scott running to the end of the pit lane. Here comes Sam. Sam just beats him out the pits. And he will keep hold of P5, but Scott is going to be right on his rear towards the end of the race with 13 minutes to go. Got a 4-second gap for Scott. Can he do that? Potentially. And Sandro carries on at 5.5, his new personal best, I believe. Indeed so. Max Mulder 4.1. And that is currently the best pace out on track at the moment. There's a little fight going on at the moment. Nick Van Gelder just right in front of Sam Brandt at the moment. Is Nick going to let him through? We'll see. Oh, Nick goes off a little bit. He makes a big mistake through a series of corners as he lets Sam through. Oh, they make a bit of contact there. I don't know what's happening. With miscommunication between the two drivers. But Sam should get through. Nick Van Gelder's going to still attack him here. Up the inside of the chicane. Is he going to do anything? He's going to hold on back. I think that's a sensible option. Situation. Tim Benting another 203. Goes back to his fastest on track status. And at the moment, 3.8 seconds is the difference between Nick Van Gelder, Scott Sandover. But they're not the two fighting, are they? Though Sam Bram, he is the one fighting Scott, but the gap does remain the same, about 4 seconds. So nothing big lost, but obviously nothing gained from that little moment between the two. As Sandra Dulis finally into the pits with 10 minutes left of the race, which will leave Tim Venting the only man left to pit, the only man who's not yet to pit in this race. Hopefully he does not forget, otherwise that will ruin a really good drive from him. But Sandro, he will come out comfortably in P3. Matthias will not be anywhere near to spoil the podium for Sandro at the moment, and the gap should be around 20 seconds, 30 seconds possibly. Just going to go on board with Tim, and he slows down a lot, and here we go. Race leader finally into the pits, been controlling this race from about the 2/3 mark. He's been absolutely on it, setting fastest lap after fastest lap, consistently the fastest man on track. But he's coming into the pits now to get his mandatory stop out of the way. Probably could have gone to the end if he wanted to, and so for a lot of drivers really, but here we are. Tim in the pits. Max Mulder is flying up very fast to the final chicane as not Tim Venting, Nick Van Gelder is at a moment, and he is sideways on the pit entry. But Tim Venting, he comes out of the pits and he has a very, very nice margin to Max Mulder behind him. But Max Mulder setting a 3.5. He's now got the fastest lap in his pocket, and now he is chasing down Tim once again. 8 minutes to go, and he has to try and find 11.5 seconds in those 8 minutes, or we could just call it 5 laps. But for Tim, I think he's too worried as he keeps the lead of the race, and he set the pace early on where it mattered, and now should be a fairly comfortable drive to the finish as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. Well, by mistakes, any big mistakes, but anyways, Tars Turk, 30 seconds in front of him, 30 seconds behind him. Pretty much on his own for another P4 finish, but he did recover very well after his first qualifying session without getting a pole, as the BMW of Senna, and tyres make contact with the wall there on the inside as Senna slowed down to let the McLaren through. I think the tyres went the wrong way really, but it's all okay. And Max Mulder set 2:03.2. That is about 8 tenths quicker than pole position time. Oh, and he makes a big mistake. He goes across the chicane there. He's going to try and back off and alleviate that time. So don't want to pick up a penalty now. If he picks up a penalty, that might be P3 gone as well. Sorry, that might be P2, sorry. That Sandro would pick up. So 2:03.7 still that lap. He doesn't pick up anything for the moment. But again, I don't think he really gained any time for his excursion there. Find Tim venting again. He is... Is he pushing it hard? I don't know if he is or not. But he is, for some reason, 3 seconds down on this Delta. This doesn't there, but he hasn't lost any time to Max, so I don't think that is correct. So we've got 6 minutes left of this race. We should be 3 laps when Tim completes the end of this lap. 3 laps from the end of this lap onwards. And Matthias stuck in the pits. Very interesting here. Matthias coming into the pits, and has he picked up any damage potentially from that little moment with Senna? And he's going to end up losing P4 as Matthias. Sam Brandt takes P4 off Matthias here, and Matthias comes out of the pits. And I don't think 3 laps is enough to make any ground, like enough ground on Sam to take back that place. So I don't know if that was pissed off of fuel, maybe a splash and dash, not that enough fuel or anything like. Either way, that has hindered him a lot. But now he's got the leader, Tim Benting, right behind him. And I think, is he going to stay in front of him here? I think he is. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. No one's on, everyone's on one half of the track at the moment. No one's in sector 3 at all. Fighting Tim here. We're just going to put it with this. Nick Van Gelder has another off. He's losing under braking, but he carries on as normal. This race, Tim, 2:47. He's got a comfortable enough pace to keep ahead of Max Mulder. And Max Mulder 2:03.0. He really is setting the pace now, as Max if he only said it earlier in the race, but I think the weather is starting to clear up a little bit. It's not lashing down as hard. Track's getting just a little bit drier maybe, everyone's beginning to load fuel. See Max Mulder, he picks that fast back and back first. Not back first, tyre army. The only race he has done this season. End up taking P2 at this rate. Tim Benting didn't really have to take any risk with Matthias. Matthias ain't really hindering him too much. Both running about the same pace. I think Matthias is showing where he could have been about the mishaps of qualifying and the start of the race, which ended up costing him at least half a lap, but which could have even been a podium if he got it all right. He's had some really good pace, but unfortunately it hasn't worked out again today for him. It's been an unlucky first half of the season for him. But for Tim, been going alright. He didn't have the best of races in Bathurst either. Pretty solid race in Kyle Army. Obviously, he had little collisions with Matthias' teammate every now and again in Kyle Army and Bathurst. I think Tim tapped into Matthias both times, which caused him to lose out tons in those moments, but never got reported or anything. I don't think it was anything too disingenuous, but anyways, keep on board with the leader. Just found that there's not really anywhere else on track, which keeping close. As they head down to the loop at the bottom of the hill, they start the final half of the final lap. Tim in the 203s that last lap, so is Matthias Turk, and Nick Van Gelder had a moment, and he's gonna be careful with Sam Brandt there. Sam Brandt up to P4, should finish P4 in this race. Max Mulder looking to get into the 202s on these final few laps as Nick Van Gelder has another spin. I think he's going to have to hold off track for a second there. And he's going to rejoin in front of the Mustang of Max Mulder, but Matthias is going to get another lap in as it looks. But for Tim Bentinck though, he's just been under control race, has the Dutchman, and after only a few races he's going to come across the line as Tim Bentinck. He's going to win his first GT3 race in SRL. Tim Bentinck with an absolutely controlled race. He sets his best lap on the final lap, although I don't think it counted unfortunately towards his best. But Tim Bentinck is the winner of this race with a very consistent, brilliant drive. Be Max Mulder in P2, he has a 203.1 final lap. He does not get the 202s, but that fast lap is comfortable enough for him, I believe, and he'll be happy with his pace he had at the end as Nicholas hits him as they all cross the line. Try and find Sandro if it will let us. As Sandro comes around the final corner, he's going to pick up his first podium of the season. It'll be his first podium in many seasons actually. If we would date back, it's last podium, season 2, Fuji. It's the last one for Sandro in GT3, where he ended up losing a duel between himself and Nick Van Gelder on the final lap. But he's going to be happy with that. He does a few little donuts, celebrate a podium for the first time in a few years in the GT3 series. For some reason there's no checker flag by their names though, but I think it is though. I think it'll be Senna, Sam Brandt will come in for P4, and then it will be Matthias Turk to finish off the order. But Tim Bentinck, he's still pushing on, even on his in-lap, but he has put on a brilliant display today, and that is his first win in GT3. Well done to Tim. And there we are, your final results, with Tim taking the win from P2 on the grid. Max Mulder, pole to P2, setting the fastest lap of the race. He definitely showed the right pace, but dropped off during the last stage of that first stint. Sandro P3, Sam Brand P4, Matthias Turk, that late pit stop cost him. He ended up being only 6 seconds behind Sam Brand in the end, P5. Scott Sandever in P6, Nick Van Gelder P7, Robin picking up the final points paying position, with Senna coming in P9 after having an early disconnect. But he rejoined and he almost came back. Unfortunately, he won't take up any points today, with the non-classified Giancarlo Souza, Harley Collins and Jeremy Pope. So great race from everyone there. Well done to everyone who did end up carrying on to finish what would have been a very frustrating race in these conditions. Very treacherous Nürburgring race. Only 8 seconds off the pace. Only 8 seconds off the dry pace in the end though, I'd say. So not too bad. But yeah, all I can say are great efforts from everyone. And well done to Tim Bendick, obviously, for his first GT3 win. Well done Sandro on his first podium in a few years. Well done Max for his pole and fast lap efforts, although probably be a little bit disappointed knowing he probably had a bit more in the tank there. But I believe that shall be it for today. Just gonna get the calendar information before we close out the stream. But the next race will not be in GT3, it will be Formula 1 returning for pre-season testing on the 13th of September at Qatar, then followed by the Australian Grand Prix on the 27th of September, and then the 2025-2026 season of racing SRL will truly get underway as everything kicks off in consecutive weeks. On the 4th of October, Bahrain Grand Prix, and GT3 will return on October the 11th at Spa for the 2.4 hour race. Oh, look at Spa drive for the free practice session. How many would have wanted that? But we will see you, anyone who watches the GT3 series, we'll see you back in October the 11th in about 1.5 months time. But for SRL fans, we'll see you in a few weeks time for pre-season test in Qatar. Until then, take care and goodbye.